healthy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. So first of all, we're going to go over the reading a nutrition label a little bit. Is this something that you usually look at when you're at the grocery store?
I try. It's kind of difficult to understand. I think I know what I'm looking at, but if you can explain it to me next time I go to the grocery store, make my shopping a whole lot easier.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so we're going to start up here at the top, and the first thing we're going to look at is the serving size and the serving per container. So in this case, the serving size is half a cup, and then the servings per container is 13. So in order to get any of the calories, fats, any of that, you've got to keep in mind that for the total package that there's 13. So you're going to multiply that. So, 13 multiplied by the half cup, and then you'll get your full amount of the product. Gotcha. So anyway, then we want to look at the calories and the calories from the fat. The reason that's important and the reason that they show this is because it helps consumers meet the dietary guidelines that are recommended, that people get no more than 30% of their calories from the fat. Okay, and then next we're going to look at just the breakdown of fats here. It shows the saturated fat and the trans fat, and the reason for that is the trans fat is what you want to stay away from. It's one of the bad fats. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the total carbohydrates, and there's two categories in this, the sugars and the dietary fiber. And the reason these are important is because dietary fiber is actually really good, especially if you are pre-diabetic. And I'll kind of explain to you later about why that's so good for you, but in this one it's 15%, so that's really good. And then the sugars is important because you don't want to get too many sugars throughout the day. Another thing that you want to look at in the ingredients list is sometimes it doesn't always say sugar. It'll say fructose or glucose, or it could say high fructose corn syrup. Those are all sugars. They're just called a different name. So, and I'll actually give you a list of some of those, so you can take that home with you and you'll know. Let's see. Then next we're going to look at protein. Protein is an essential part of the diet, and it's something that you want to get a protein that's lower in fat. You compare the products for that also.
Such as peanut butter.
Well, peanut butter is actually high in fat,
okay,
so.
Never mind.
But it's all, you can still have peanut butter, just not all the time. So when we go on the grocery store tour, I'll show you some lean meats that would be good to buy. Okay, then next we're going to look at the percent daily values. And this is on every label in the grocery store. Really the only thing that wouldn't have it is if it was something in the produce section, because they don't have a label. But this is something that they have to have on here. So the reason that they do it is that it shows you, based on a 2,000 calorie diet, it shows you the values. This has some of the maximums, such as the fat, the 65 grams or less, and then some of the minimums are carbohydrates. The 300 grams or more is what you want to get. This is actually based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Okay. So for somebody that's pre-diabetes, we actually recommend a 1,500 calorie diet. So in that case, you're going to actually base it on 75% for each nutrient instead of 100%. So that's really it for the nutrition label. Do you have any questions?
No, so far. Understanding.
Okay, good. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the meal planning and the plate method. And a meal complete with a side of fruit and a cup of fat-free milk typically provides about 425 calories, 55 to 60 grams of carbohydrates, 35 grams of protein, and 10 grams of fat. So if you look at this diagram here, it kind of shows you the plate method. And so if you fill half of your plate with non-starchy vegetables and then a fourth of your plate with lean meat or another high-protein food such as beans, then you fill a fourth of your plate with a starchy vegetable or a whole grain serving, and then you want to include a serving of fruit or a dairy. Sometimes you can do both, and this of course will depend on what your budget allows as far as calories. Okay. So we're going to look at some healthy eating tips for prediabetes, and two of the main things here are fiber and reducing fats. So the reason we look at fiber is because it slows digestion to help you feel fuller longer, and it slows the rate carbohydrates are absorbed into your bloodstream. It also helps reduce cholesterol by binding to the cholesterol in your digestive tract and getting rid of it. So that's why fiber is important, and we'll look at some more items at the grocery store, but basically you're looking for whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and beans, like kidney and black beans. Okay, next we're going to look at reducing fats. And the reason you want to do this is because a high-fat meal can cause insulin resistance, and it's keeping your blood glucose higher for a long period of time. So ways to decrease the fat are buying lean cuts of meat, trimming the fat or removing skin, ways of cooking, baking, roasting, broiling, barbecuing. Those are all better than frying. So before we went on this grocery store tour, and when you signed up, I had some foods listed, and you had marked some that you had never tried before. So I went ahead and got some of these foods for you, and we're going to try them today. Let's see what you think. Yay! Okay. So the first one we're going to try is actually a quinoa salad, and this is this grain. It's a whole grain. And it also has some vegetables in here, some zucchini. It looks like it has some chickpeas, which are high in protein. So
let's try this.
Looks very tasty. So you're not a big fan.
It's one of those you have to acquire taste.
Acquire taste?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
not bad though.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna try a kelp salad, and this is actually a leafy green vegetable that is very good for you. It is low in calories and carbs. It's high in folate. It's also high in beta carotene, vitamins B2, B6. Copper, magnesium, potassium, zinc,
the whole thing.
And it's also high in fiber, so it's a really good vegetable for you.
Okay. It's pretty good.
Yeah?
It's pretty good.
So that's something that you can maybe include in your diet from now on. And that's also, this is a salad, this is the Asian version. It's kind of mixed with some carrots and mushrooms, but you can make your own version of that too.
Oh, it's pretty good.
All right. So we're in the produce section now, and I'm sure you've been here many times, but this is where all the fruits and vegetables are, which you want to get 5 servings of these daily. So first we're going to look at just some good foods for pre-diabetes. This is an avocado. Have you ever had avocado before?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so this is a very good one. This one's organic. They also have ones that are not organic. Next, we're going to look at spinach. This is a leafy green vegetable that's really high in folate, high in iron, so it's definitely a good vegetable to buy. Then we have the asparagus. Okay. It's also high in fiber. It's also high in folate and vitamin C.
Okay.
Okay, and then also the broccoli right here.
Love broccoli.
This is also a high in fiber item and high in vitamin C. Okay. So next we're going to look at some fruits, and grapefruit, this is a great one. Actually, any of the citrus fruits are, but grapefruit is very high in vitamin C, and it actually helps decrease LDL and triglyceride levels. So that's a great one to buy. Then the apples. Apples, you know, you've heard the doctor, 1 a day. Apples are very high in fiber, so it's something to keep your fiber up. Okay.
I love apples.
And it's also packed with vitamin C as well. Okay. Next, we're going to go and look at some of the berries over here. Okay. Okay. So these are strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries, and these are all great fruits. The raspberries and strawberries have lots of antioxidants, fiber, and vitamin C. Okay. And blueberry is one of the #1 fruits to get it because it has fiber, vitamin C, flavonoids, so it's great fruit. So now we're in the bread and the pasta section, and so we're going to talk about some whole grains. And so the first thing that you want to look at when you're looking for whole grains is, if it is a whole grain, usually it has a stamp on it by the Whole Grains Council.
Okay.
And so it's telling you that it's a whole grain. It has 22 grams or more per serving.
Okay.
If it does not have that, then the thing you would look at next would be the ingredients. So you're looking for, if whole wheat flour is the first ingredient, then that means it is 100% whole wheat product. If it had something like, if it just said wheat flour or oat flour, organic flour, something like that, then it may actually not be a whole wheat product.
Okay.
So this one, for example, says made with 100% durum wheat. So it's durum wheat, which is actually not a whole grain product.
Okay.
So you'll also see it doesn't have a stamp on here saying that it is a whole grain product.
Okay.
So now we're going to look at some lean meats that are good to incorporate into your diet. And this is chicken. Chicken is a very good source of protein. It's low in fat and low in calories. So this is something, we talked a little bit earlier about how to cook these. And there's a few different methods, but sauteing and broiling, pretty much anything but frying is a good way to cook chicken. Brown turkey, this is another one that's good. And one thing that's important about this is if you look at the different colors here, this one is a lot leaner meat. It actually says on it, fresh, extra lean. It's 99% fat-free.
Okay.
So this is the better option as opposed to this one. This one actually is still lean. It's 85% lean with 15% fat. So if you look at the label here, it's got quite a bit of fat. I mean, 26% daily value, 17 grams of fat. That's per serving size. So, you know, if you take that 17, multiply it by 4, it
Yeah,
actually
that's a
ends
lot.
up being quite a bit of fat. Okay, and then next we're going to look at fish. And there's lots of different types of fish. And some of the better ones are salmon. Salmon is very high in omega-3s. So that's a good one. But even tilapia, that one's very low in calories, low in fat. It's a very light fish, and it goes well with a lot of dishes. Now we're going to look at some drink options. And this is an orange juice. It's 100% orange juice. This one's home style. It's got some pulp in it. And this is a good carb. It's considered a good carb because it has lots of vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and it's a nutrient-dense food. So it's got 110 calories per serving. And there's 7 servings per container. This is an example of a bad carb. And this is the Fanta. This is an orange drink. So the same basic premise, except for the first ingredient on this is water and then high fructose corn syrup. So this obviously is not a natural ingredient. High fructose corn syrup is sugar, so if you look at this, you're getting 44 grams of sugar, and that's in one serving. This contains 3.5 servings, so that's a lot of sugar. That concludes the grocery store tour. Do you have any questions that you want to ask me?
No, I learned a lot today. I mean, it was very exciting. I learned I'm going to put it in my everyday habit of eating.
Yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I'm going to give you some materials to take home with you. This is the list. We call it our no-buy list. So this buy list has a lot of superfoods for diabetes that, so a lot of them I showed you in the tour, but that's a take home for you. And then also a do not buy list, which has items that you don't want to keep at your house. So, and then if you have any questions, my contact information is on here, my email address, phone, you can give me a call.
Thank you. Thank you for all the cheat sheets.
I enjoyed it.
Nice seeing you again. Thank you.